Hello, friends, and welcome to the Meadowlands Post-Position Draw Show here at the Meadowlands Race Office. I'm your host, Justin Horwitz, and as always, we're joined by Meadowlands Race Secretary Pete Koch and presiding judge John Tomasello, and we've got some very interesting and exciting races to draw. A big card on hand Saturday night here at the Meadowlands. 8 stakes races in all, purses more than $2 million. We're going to draw the 4 two-year-old stakes races. Of course, they are the fall Final Four. All the purses will be approaching $400,000. We had the elimination last week for each division, and a couple horses had some buys, and so we will draw all 4 of those finals coming up right now on the post-position draw show. A couple things to keep in mind. Remember, the elimination winner gets to draw posts 1 through 6. That's the benefit they get from winning their elimination, so they get some post-position protection there. The horses that took buys will be part of the open draw with the rest of the fields. We also have the 4 TVG free-for-all finals. We won't draw those, but we'll let you know some of those horses that are in those fields as well. Pete, this is a pretty fun time when you get to draw a big stakes card like this. When you're the Meadowlands Race Secretary, that's kind of what it's all about for you.
Well, it takes a little pressure off this morning. I'm having 8 races, so that's always a good thing. But no, this is really this is the final go around for a lot of these horses in their stake races. They'll probably be done for the year after this weekend. But we get to see them one more time, and as we've said before, that a lot of divisional honors are still at stake. So horses that have good performances in these races give themselves a leg up for the very important year-end honors.
We have 2 Breeders' Crown winners from the 2-year-old races, both of the pacing winners of the Breeders' Crown. We have Stay Hungry, the pacing colt, took a bye into the final of the Governor's Cup. And then we also have You Are My Candy Girl, who also took a bye in the 3 Diamonds. The 2 trotting winners, Manchego and $50 Bill. We don't have them, but plenty more star power here. The future stars of the sport will get a chance to see. So we're going to start with the 2 trotting races. We'll start with the fillies in the Goldsmith Maid. The final purse will be $420,750. And remember, the elimination winner was Plunge Blue Chip, who won last week for Ocas Fonstead, and the bye was Hey Blondie, who we saw win the kindergarten final a few weeks ago. So let's begin with the elimination winner, Plunge Blue Chip, who will get to draw from post 1 to 6 as a result of winning.
He draws 6.
Draws post 6 for Plunge Blue Chip. That's Ocas Fonstead and Blue Chip Farm sending this one out. So now we'll begin the open draw part.
2.
Post 2 will go to Swing It Kathy, part of the Jimmy Takter arsenal that is being sent out.
4.
Post 4. Venus Duhara will go post 4, also trained by Jimmy Takter with Mark McDonald.
3. Hey Blondie.
Post 3 will go to Hey Blondie, so that was the horse that took the bye and draws very well in post 3.
8.
Post 8 will go to Seviorum for Team Orange Crush.
9.
Post 9. Bella Gloss, another of the Jimmy Takter trainees.
7.
Post 7.
Dab Hanover.
Dab Hanover. You want to guess who trains Dab Hanover? That's right, Jimmy Takter.
10.
Post 10.
Lily Stride.
We'll go to Lily Stride, draws the outside for Mark Harder and Tim Tetrick. And post 5.
5. Piranha Fury.
Piranha Fury for Dave Miller, Nifty Norman. And that leaves
Lucky 1.
post 1.
Smoke and Mirrors.
Smoke and Mirrors, the Cadabra filly, Brian Sears, and Nifty Norman. So that is the field for the Goldsmith Maid. We can run down a couple of those. Hey Blondie, the horse that took the bye, draws post 3. The elimination winner, Plunge Blue Chip, draws post 6. Post 10, Lily Stride, and Seviorum, post 8 for Andy and Julie Miller. Let's move on to the Valley Victory, which will be the richest of the 4 Final Four races. Final purse of $464,650. Remember, same-o different day from Jimmy Takter took the bye, and the elimination winner was Fourth Dimension, who looked very, very impressive in a bounce-back performance after the Breeders' Crown disappointment for Marcus Melander and Brian Sears. So Fourth Dimension will draw for posts 1 through 6, and we are just folding some more papers here. It's important skill if you're a presiding judge or race secretary. I'm not sure if anybody really appreciates the importance of folding paper well when you conduct draws here. And with it being on camera, we have to make sure that they're perfectly folded in half, which it appears that both of you are doing an excellent job of. What else can we talk about? TVG finals this weekend. If you like to wager on races, which is kind of a good thing, we'll have TVG money back specials. If you play the races on TVG.com or 4NJ Bets, races 5 through 8 on our card. Those races still to be determined. We'll offer the very popular TVG money back special, so that's always fun. That should be good.
We'll do the 1 through 6.
We will draw post 1 through 6 here for the elimination winner, Fourth Dimension. Post 5 for Fourth Dimension, Brian Sears and Marcus Meadowlander with a very talented son of Chapter 7. Now begins the open draw.
10.
Post 10.
Kinda Lucky Lindy.
Kinda Lucky Lindy, Kind of Unlucky draws post 10, Scott Zeron and Frank Antonacci.
3.
Post 3.
Different day.
Same-o different day, so another good draw for a horse that took a bye. Same-o different day, Jimmy Takter draws post 3.
6.
Banker 25.
Post 6 goes to Banker 25. Long shot, Marcus Miller listed to drive.
7.
Post 7.
Fashion Woodchopper.
Fashion Woodchopper, the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion. Jim Campbell, Dave Miller listed to drive.
8. Hat Trick Habit.
Post 8 goes to Hat Trick Habit, the Kentucky Sire Stake champion. Another trained by Frank Antonacci, Tim Tetrick listed to drive.
9.
Tito.
Post 9 goes to Tito, the kindergarten champion from Irv Miller and Andy McCarthy.
1.
Post 1.
Meadow Branch Ricky.
Meadow Branch Ricky draws the rail for Jenny Melander and Brett Miller.
4.
Missile Hill.
Post 4 for Missile Hill, Peter Wren and Tony Alanya.
And 2.
Post 2 will be Wolfgang. So that is the field for the Valley Victory. Same-o different day, who took the bye, draws post 3. The elimination winner, Fourth Dimension, drew post 5. Wolfgang, post 2. And Tito, the kindergarten winner, drawed post 9. Hat Trick Habit drew post 8. And the Pennsylvania Sire Stakes champion, Fashion Woodchopper, draws post 7. So those are the fields for the 2 trotting races in the Fall Final 4. Let me give you a couple of the fields for the TVG Free-for-All finals. The TVG Mare Trot. It drew only a field of 4, but half the field won a Breeders' Crown race this year. That would be Hannelore Hanover, who will come back against the girls after beating the boys in the Breeders' Crown, and Emoticon Hanover for trainer Luke Blaze, who won the Mare Trot in the Breeders' Crown. She'll be in that field. They'll be joined by Caprice Hill and Barndoll, a field of 4 going for about $200,000 in the TVG Mare Trot. And looks like our paper folding has been completed, so we will now draw the field for the 3 diamonds. The 381,000, 200,000. 3 horses took buys, and of course, Kissin' in the Sand, a very impressive winner of the elimination. She will draw post 1 through 6, and she will draw post 2 for the very, very talented Kissin' in the Sand, trained by Nancy Johansson with Tim Tetrick to drive. Now the open draw part begins. Post 3. Alexa's Power will draw post 3 for Jim Campbell and Scott Zeron.
6.
Post 6.
Rain on Me. 6.
Rain on Me, post 6. Nifty Norman and Brett Miller listed to drive.
8.
Post 8.
Major
Special Lady, one of the Ron Burke trained fillies who took a bye, and she gets in the open draw and draws post 8.
4.
Aldine Hanover.
Post 4 for Aldine Hanover from Team Irv Miller with son Marcus listed to drive.
5.
Post 5.
Strong Opinion.
Strong Opinion, post 5 for Ron Burke and Matt Kakali listed to drive.
10.
Post 10, You Are My Candy Girl. So the Breeders' Crown winner who took the bye goes into the open draw and draws post 10. That suddenly makes that race extremely interesting in her matchup with Kissin' in the Sand.
7.
Post 7,
Pueblo Blue Chip.
Pueblo Blue Chip. Post 7, Ron Burke with Brett Miller also listed to drive.
1.
Post 1,
Python Blue Chip.
Python Blue Chip for Okie Svanstead and Brian Sears.
And 9.
Post 9 for Rainbow Room, who also took a bye. So 2 of the 3 fillies who took byes getting into the open draw and draw posts 9 and 10. So that is a race that we are very much looking forward to, a battle between Kissin' in the Sand and You Are My Candy Girl. Kissin' in the Sand raced in the elim, won it, gets post position protection and draws post 2, whereas You Are My Candy Girl raced in the Breeders' Crown, was super impressive, won the matron at Dover, then took the bye, gets in the open draw, and draws post 10. So that will be one of the showcase matchups on Saturday night in the Three Diamonds final for $381,200. The last race we'll draw is the Governor's Cup final for the Pacing Colts and Geldings, $411,700. And while we wait for the paper to be folded, let's take a look at another one of the fields for the TVG Free-for-All Series. Let's look at the Open Trot, and this race has the intriguing matchup of 3-year-old What the Hill, who will take on the aged horses. It's a field of 6. Ron Burke will have 3 of the 6, so he has What the Hill, the horse that crossed the finish line first in the Hamiltonian. If you've been under a rock, maybe you hadn't heard that, but disqualified from Hambo victory. He will come back to the Meadowlands to close out the season against the age horses, and he will face a field of Crazy Wow, Dason, Looks Like a Chippendale, Mambo Lindy, and the former Hamiltonian champion Pinkman for Jimmy Takter with Brian Sears listed. That is one of the TVG free-for-all finals going for about $400,000. Time for the Governor's Cup, and we will have the elimination winner, Springsteen, who will draw for posts 1 through 6. Post 5. For Springsteen, the elimination winner, Simon Allard, driving for Mark Harder. And now the open draw will begin.
3.
Post 3.
Lost in Time.
Lost in Time, who was the beaten favorite in the Breeders' Crown, the Metro winner, and second time trained by Jimmy Takter.
Closing Statement.
Post 2 will go to Closing Statement. Joe Holloway and Brian Sears team up.
1.
Rock Lights.
Post 1 goes to Rock Lights. Be a big long shot in there.
9.
Post 9.
Stay Hungry.
Stay Hungry, the Breeders' Crown champion who took the bye, goes into the open draw and draws post 9 for Tony Alagna.
7.
Post 7.
American History.
American History, the highly touted, well, not undefeated anymore after losing in the elim. 3 for 4 lifetime for Tony Alagna.
4.
Post 4.
Dorsadoro Hanover.
Dorsadoro Hanover for Ronnie Burke and Matt Kakali listed to drive.
10.
Post 10.
Fashion on the Beach.
Fashion on the Beach draws the outside for Jimmy Campbell and Jeff Gregory listed.
6.
Post 6.
Grand Teton.
Post 6, Grand Teton, whose big sister Pure Country will be part of the TVG Free-for-All Mares race on Saturday.
Nutcracker Sweet.
Post 8 goes to Nutcracker Sweet, the half-brother to Sweet Lou, Tim Tetrick, and Jimmy Takter. So those are the horses for the Governor's Cup. Springsteen, the elimination winner, draws post 5 with that post protection, and the Breeders' Crown champion, Stay Hungry, in the open draw, draws post 9. So that is the fall Final Four. I think we're going to try to get those fields on graphic for you. In the meantime, Pete, I think one of the matchups that is most highly anticipated comes in the Three Diamonds, where we have Kissin' in the Sand against You Are My Candy Girl. You Are My Candy Girl took the bye, draws post 10. Your opinion, how does that race shape up?
Well, it's kind of funny over the years. It's basically always the best move to take the bye, because I do remember years back there was a horse that didn't take the bye, raced in the elim for the Woodrow Wilson, which was going for $600,000 or $700,000, and didn't make the final. So the trainer said to me at that point, I'm always going to take the bye. So you take your chance, and so it makes it kind of a compelling race. With You Are My Candy Girl has been vicious. She's, but the 10 hole, as they say, it's tough to win from that side of the page.
Absolutely. So that is a very intriguing matchup. Kissin' in the Sand, post 2. Post 10 for You Are My Candy Girl. Rainbow Room, who also took a bye, she draws post 9. And then Major Special Lady, who was the other horse that took a bye for Ronnie Burke, draws post 8. So they couldn't have gotten that any worse for the horse that took a bye. They draw 8, 9, and 10 in that race. Let's talk about the Governor's Cup, where we have Springsteen, who has come to life on the barn change. He won the elimination, post 5. Stay Hungry, the Breeders' Crown champion, also doesn't draw well in post 9. And then how about Lost in Time, who was the Metro winner, beaten in the Breeders' Crown, had post 10 in the elim last week. What do you think about that race and that horse second time for Jimmy Takter?
Well, I think Jimmy said in the program last night or last week that he clearly was going to need this start to get acclimated a little bit, and I think he raced okay from the outside, and he hadn't raced in a while, and so now he's got that race under his belt. So I would expect for him to be much better.
And he draws very well in that final. So a very interesting race. Post 3, Scott Zeron and Jimmy Takter teaming up there. How about the Valley Victory? An early look perhaps at the Hambletonian of next year. Fourth Dimension could not have looked any better in the elimination, bouncing back from that loss. Brian Sears and Marcus Melander, the young trainer, had 2 Hambo horses this year, may have another good one. Looks like it's Fourth Dimension's race, to me at least. He looks like the horse to beat there for sure.
Well, for whatever reason, he kind of came up empty in the final of the Breeders' Crown, but basically all his other lines look great, and he was vicious here last week. So I would think he'd be very good. But it's a horse race. I mean, so he would look very good, and I would expect him to win.
Okay, we do have the Goldsmith Maid field ready to go, so let's take a look at that full field in post position order, 420,750, and you're going to have lots of Jimmy Takter horses, but Hey Blondie is the horse that took the bye for Chuck Sylvester and Andy McCarthy. Remember how good she looked in winning the kindergarten final. Seviorum has been good all year, and how about Plunge Blue Chip, the New York Sire Stakes star for Oki Svanstedt, looked very good winning from the outside post in the elimination. Post 6 for Plunge Blue Chip. Any thoughts on that race as far as who you like? Of course, Manchego, the undefeated Breeders' Crown champion, not here.
Well, it kind of looked like they were kind of getting to that Plunge Blue Chip at the top of the stretch last week, and she certainly had another gear. She was very good. But Irv Miller's filly was very good. Hey Blondie in the final of the kindergarten here. And as we've said on a couple of these shows, there's quite a bit of money available during this month here at the Meadowlands for these 2-year-olds, and so it really just shows that this Hey Blondie is putting some serious money on her card, and I would expect her to put even more on Saturday night.
So Goldsmith Maid, that's the field for the $420,750 Goldsmith. What's the deal with these like random numbers? Can't you just make them nice and round, like 400, 500? How does that work?
Well, the way this works is people started making payments on these races back in February, and these races have always been popular. They started at Garden State Park, and then since the closing of Garden State Park, a lot of times they've bounced back and forth between here and Mohawk or Woodbine. But as most owners and trainers feel with the 2-year-olds is that's what they really want to stake to, something late in the year. We don't kill them with the payments. And so there was 170 horses eligible to, I know, one of these races. So there was numerous eligibles for a lot of them. And so the way it works is all the monies that were paid in by the owners through those 4 payments, plus the Meadowlands adds money, and the money from starting fees, and that's where it comes. So that's why it doesn't always work out to such an even number.
All right, well, it's good to race for as much as possible, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the field for the Valley Victory now. We have that one ready to go. And again, this is a race that had the elimination winner, Fourth Dimension, drew post 5. Remember, the elimination winners draw post 1 through 6. And then the one bye was given to Samo Different Day. And unlike in some of the other races we saw, Samo Different Day took the bye and drew just fine post 3. I think this is a race that was really wide open, though. If Fourth Dimension comes back to the field in any way, shape, or form, I think there's quite a few, but he looked extremely good. I think Marcus Melander said perhaps he didn't handle the track at the Breeders' Crown at Hoosier. It had rained the night before. It sounded just like the horse didn't like it, but he certainly liked the Meadowlands track last week, that's for sure. He went to the front and just kind of never got close to anyone else.
Yeah, he was great here last week, and it was kind of interesting. We had a drivers' meeting. We always have one at the beginning of the meet, and Tim Tetrick was talking about driving out at Hoosier, and he said you really had to kind of get used to racing out there. It's a different style, and also the surface some horses don't necessarily agree with, but we this horse was great here, so I would think he'd be great again.
And that's good because he may want to be great here on the first Saturday in August next year. That would be a nice time for that. Fourth Dimension, definitely the horse to beat, but some pretty worthy challengers behind him. You have the bye horse, Same O Different Day. You have the kindergarten winner, Tito. You have the Kentucky Sire Stake champion in Hat Trick Habit. You have the Pennsylvania Sire Stake champion in Fashion Woodchopper. So those are the two trotting races that we'll see. Let's talk about a couple of the TVG free-for-all races. We gave the fields for the two trots. How about the fields for the paces? Let's start with the open pace. We have a field of 7. Again, Ron Burke figures in this one as well. All Bets Off and Check 6. We'll also have Delta Winner, Lion Snyder, Mock It So, Mick Wicked, and Mel Mara. We do not have the Breeders' Crown winner in Split the House, but we have the runner-up, Mick Wicked. I remember that vividly. He was the runner-up because I needed him desperately to close out the pick 4, and he didn't come through for me. But Brian Sears again with Casey Coleman. Looking at this field, as always, when you have a free-for-all race, there is lots of speed and lots of incredibly talented older horses.
Well, I felt bad for you that your pick 4 blew up, but
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But they do say that you could be close in horseshoes and hand grenades, but not horses. But anyway, Mick Wicked was Mick Wicked in his qualifier last week. Very impressive qualifier here, qualifying in sub 149. And he clearly looks like he's ready for the final here. But the Burke Brigade is always very tough, and those horses have been answering the bell all year. So even though there's just 7, it sets up for a great race.
We saw Check 6 on Hambletonian Day, upset winner of the Sam McKee Memorial. So that's a nice sign to have him back. How about Lion Snyder? He sold at Harrisburg, so a new barn for him. Virgil Morgan now trains him, so that's always interesting when you see a horse make a significant barn change through a sale like that, and they put him right in a race like this.
Well, Lion Snyder, his last race for the old connections was the first time he went on Lasix, and he won an overnight race here in 150 and looked good doing it. I mean, this is a different kind of horse that he's in with here, but he's got speed. So, and Virgil's an excellent trainer. He's not that often here, but he's a top guy in the Midwest, and they'll go forward.
That's a very interesting field as well. Let's move on to the mares, and we got a preview of this race last week. There were 7 in a mare, TVG mare leg. We will have those same exact 7 come back, plus Medusa. So Bedroom Confessions, Blue Moon Stride, Darlin on the Beach, who won that race last week, Lady Shadow, Medusa, Nike Franco, Pure Country, and Winsung Glory. If you're going to ask for the top 8 pacing mares in the sport, I think they're all here.
Yeah, this is a great bunch of mares, and as we said, it's a lot of season's honors are still at stake. And Darlin on the Beach, she was fabulous last week, but a lot of these mares, they were off for a while coming into that race last week, so they all have a race under their belts, and I think it's kind of an interesting race, and I mean, she could clearly win again, Darlin on the Beach, but I think she'll have her hands full with this field.
Yeah, so that's a really good group. Let's take a look at the 3 Diamonds, the 2-year-old filly race. Again, we had talked about that. We have that one ready to go. And again, this is the matchup between Kissin' in the Sand and You Are My Candy Girl. And the story here is that the 3 fillies that took a bye into the final drew posts 8, 9, and 10. So I think that makes, you handicap races sometimes as a race secretary. Perhaps this is the unintended handicap that the 3 fillies that took the bye draw outside, and Kissin' in the Sand will certainly have a chance to control things with post 2 and Tim Tetrick.
Absolutely, and she's been really, really good in her limb last week and in the final of the kindergarten. But I mean, You Are My Candy Girl is very good, and as we all know, I mean, Yannick is driving her, and I would probably think that he might leave.
Must blast.
I would say yes. So she'll be involved early, and she's been very good. But I mean, the 10-hole could be a great equalizer. So I mean, they're going to get down into the quarter on time, and like I say, you got to come out and watch these races on Saturday night because you don't know what's going to happen.
All right, so I said I wouldn't put you on the spot, but I'm going to just because I'm holding the microphone. I can do that. So let's pretend you're Dave Brower for a second. Now you have to make the morning line for the 3 Diamonds, and you've got You Are My Candy Girl drawing in post 10. Is that enough to make her not the favorite against Kissin' in the Sand, in your opinion?
I think so. I think Kissin' in the Sand will go off the favorite in here. just by recent form and the fact that she drew the 2-hole, it's going to be close. But I think that the public will end up landing on her.
Okay, all right. Well, that wasn't so bad. I put you on the spot. No big deal. All right, so we've seen the 3 Diamonds final. We've seen the Goldsmith Maid. We've seen the Valley Victory. We're still looking for the Governor's Cup final. But again, we can tell you that Springsteen drew post 5. The elimination winner and Stay Hungry drew post 9. We talked about the TVG races, and again, the money back special will be in effect on races 5 through 8 on Saturday. So we'll leave that up to you to determine the order of races. I'm sure there will be plenty of very, very wide open races. That Survivor Bet was pretty interesting on Saturday. We had 2 tickets going to the end, splitting that one. What else? Anything else? What about the overnights? What are you going to fill the rest of the card with? What's the rest of the horse population looking like?
Basically, hard-hitting, mid-range conditioned horse pacers with the rest of the card. So this is the last week of 1 day. We'll be going to 2 days next week. So hopefully these owners around the country and trainers will be filling our box next week.
Yes, so come December, December 1st is Friday, so that'll be Friday, Saturday, and then the next week and the rest of December we'll go 3 days a week. You're going to be exhausted, Pete. Rest up over the holidays.
Absolutely. We'll have to have an extra helping of turkey.
There you go. Okay, so that was it. That's all we got. We dragged this out as long as we possibly could. We drew the Fall Final 4, the TVG Free-for-All Finals, all on tap Saturday night. The TVG Money Back Specials on races 5 through 8. So enjoy Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday. Save some room to come have a big helping of stakes racing on Saturday night here at the Meadowlands. 13 race card, 7:15 post time, and that's all we got. So thanks a lot, Pete. Thanks a lot, John. And enjoy your Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you Saturday night.